Hello, hello, hello. I'm back for episode 2. Last time I did 2 parts, but this is officially going to be episode 2. We are going to be talking about how to overcome doubt, how I stay motivated, and how you can stay motivated, especially in the world we live today. It's very confusing. There's always problems, and it's really hard to stay motivated sometimes. But I have really good tips. Studied it a little bit, went over it, made sure I had some good insights, and also kind of reflected on what I do. Because I kind of thought back to it and I was like, what do I really do? So I kind of reflected, and that was actually really good because I kind of came up with stuff that I could do as well. But first, we are going to get into the drink of the day. I first started posting this right when I started the Instagram, and I thought it'd be a good idea to bring it back. It has so many benefits, health benefits for your body, whether you're active, you're getting older, has so many benefits, and I actually researched it and I found out some new things which are pretty cool. But first, it's water. We love water. That's honestly mostly what I drink is water. I just love water. I don't know what it is. It's really refreshing. And we need it, of course, to live. But I also put in collagen peptides. I use the Him and Hers. Let's see if you guys can see it on the camera. Yeah, I use the Him and Hers, and I actually like this one a lot. We went for another brand originally, but it's kind of more expensive for the same price. And this one, I've just seen more improvements, especially my workout routine that I do. It's pretty rigorous and it's helped my joints stay intact, my bones stronger, especially with my problems I have with my stress injuries in my legs. And I've definitely felt improvement for sure. So I wrote down some benefits of collagen just to kind of support why I'm promoting it. Okay, so first, it improves your skin, less wrinkles. A lot of us, when we get older, don't want wrinkles. It's not going to prevent it completely. We're still going to get wrinkles, but it does help with the skin. Also, something new that I found out was heart health. It actually helps lower our bad cholesterols, which are ADLs. We have ADLs and we have LDLs, and we want our LDLs to rise while our HDLs to lower, and apparently this helps with that. So I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see, joint support. I put a lot of stress on my joints, so that's personally why I take them. I felt an improvement for sure. Faster recovery, which was new to me. That's pretty cool. Also, reversal bone loss and stronger bones and muscles. That I did not know, and actually, I'm glad I'm taking it because definitely need more recovery in my muscles, definitely in my bones too. I stress those out way too much. and and one of the main reasons why it's really important is our body is really hard, or sorry, I didn't say that right. It's really hard for our body to make collagen and source it. It's just something that's kind of last for our body to do. Our main organs are the main goal, and then those come after. We don't have a lot of blood supply to our joints, to our tendons, and so that is harder. So replacing our body with collagen definitely helps with that. And nothing sponsored. I just started. Nothing sponsored, but definitely love this brand for sure. And I love my collagen just because I love it. Okay, so got into the drink of the day, and I wanted to kind of on each podcast, I kind of wanted to kind of give an insight to my life and kind of my positives during my week, my negatives during the week. I know everybody does it on a podcast. But honestly, that's one of my favorite parts about podcasts because you kind of get to learn about the person each week. So I'm going to do that too, along with my drink of the day. So my positive for this week is that I'm on spring break. That's definitely positive. And I passed one of my tests with the highest scores that I've ever gotten. It was a cardio test. I've actually found that I'm pretty good with cardio-based stuff, which is surprising to me. But I was really excited about that. My negative would probably be finding out that my husband's leaving in 5 days. Well, now it's 5 days, but he's leaving for 9 months. It's sad, but it is a motivation to be able to become successful, being able to provide for myself, which is the ultimate goal. If anything happens, I don't have to stress how do I make money for my family. So that's one of my main goals I have at the end of the road, to be successful. And I mentioned that in some of the ways that I try and not to have self-doubt, and we'll get more into that. But first, we are going to talk about overcoming self-doubt. And I kind of thought about self-doubt. I was like, honestly, like, what brings it on? And I was thinking about it, and my number one thing I can come up with was fear. Fear is, I think, the number one most important reason why people have self-doubt. It's the top of the list. If we have fear, then we have self-doubt, and then it just trickles down from there. And I put down fear in not succeeding, being more vulnerable definitely is a fear factor, definitely for me. Afraid of rejection, being made fun of. Also, just not succeeding your expectations, or it doesn't turn out into something that you thought it would, and kind of just thinking about it in the future and say, well, what if I fail? I'm going to feel awful about myself, and then I'm not going to want to try again. So things like that. So I'm going to go through each one and kind of explain what I came up with and what I've kind of researched on my own as well, which I thought was really interesting. Okay, so not succeeding. So I actually, like I said in my first episode, talked to my uncle about starting a podcast, and I was like, super busy. I don't know if I'll be able to just put the time in. I need nursing school, the army, taking care of a child by myself, everything, taking care of my house, cleaning, doing everything that needs renovation. Also, that brings up a good point. I apologize. As you can see in my background, I have no shelving. This has been a project for literally a year now, trying to get all my cabinets done. And I'm definitely going to be making some videos about that. That's part of my renovation series. So look out for that. But anyway, I was talking to my uncle about it. I don't know how I'm going to do it. And he was like, what's going to happen? Like, what's the worst that can happen? And I was like, you're right. What's the worst going to happen? We try it's just, we're not going to get the followers we wanted, or our business, just nobody likes our product. So what do we do about it? We got to try again. So there's no fail in trying. And if you don't try, you might regret it. Maybe it could have been something more than you thought it could, or you did exceed your expectations. You never know, and that's why you always want to try. So definitely not succeeding. I definitely have self-doubts in the moment where I'm like, what if I'm just putting all my time in and it's not going to go anywhere? I'm going to waste my time. But I got to think about the benefit of, and the doubt, what's going to be more important in the end. So that's kind of how I look at it. And that kind of goes into what do you do if you do not succeed? I kind of think about it like, no matter what, there's always going to be success. Like me right now, I'm starting a podcast. I took the time to sit down. I can have the fear about not getting enough followers that I wanted. People are like, oh, what does she have to offer? Why is she starting a podcast? People judging me. I'm sure there's some people that follow me who are like that. But at the end of the day, it's you. And if that's what makes you happy, then you got to go and do it. So that's kind of what's gotten me going. Just, I know, like, at the end, like, there's always going to be some sort of success down the road. Yeah. So some way or another, you will achieve something. For me, say I do this at the end of the year, I get, let's see, 2 followers a day. I'll end up the year like about 1,000 followers or more than 1,000. And you kind of get on yourself like, oh, only 1,000 people follow me. There's a billion people in the world. But you achieved something. I grew my podcast to 1,000 people. And honestly, it's just going to trickle on from there. Coming back to achieving something no matter what. You could achieve a learning experience. You could learn something new, like, oh, maybe this didn't work out, but maybe this will work out and I'm going to try again. So that's kind of how failing gets to us. Failing is an opportunity to learn. Failing is an opportunity to achieve something that is going to be even better than what we had before. So you just got to keep on going. If you don't succeed the first time, that's life. We got to get up, pick ourselves up again, and do it all over again. Okay, next thing with fear bringing on self-doubt is vulnerability. This one's a big one for me. I tend to be really reserved. It's really hard for me to open up, not necessarily about judgment, but just kind of not being heard and kind of being shut down by what I'm trying to say, and the person just doesn't understand me. That's my big thing with vulnerability. It's really hard to put yourself out there. It also goes hand in hand with the rejection for sure. Like, what if this person doesn't like me? What if this person doesn't like my brand? What if this person is not going to be my friend anymore because of this? Just rejection, being made fun of for something that you want to do or you're passionate about. And again, that kind of comes to kind of what you think about yourself, what your main goal is, what you want to accomplish. Is their acceptance bigger than accomplishing what you want to accomplish? So that's just something to think about. There's actually a story that I heard. I was listening to the Iced Coffee Hour. Yeah, the Iced Coffee Hour podcast by Graham Stephan. Graham Stephan. And they were talking about this big businessman influencer. His name's Alex Hormozi, and Alex Hormozi was saying, Queen Elizabeth, she was famous. She had a lot of followers, very well known, very respected, wealthy, all these things. And he said, I guarantee that most of you listening right now have not even thought about her until right now, until I brought it up. And they were talking about how no matter what, everyone always goes back to their lives and worrying about themselves. So no matter what this person's doing, what you're doing, what I'm doing, everyone's always going to go back to themselves. They might have like a little thought like, oh, this person's doing this, but it does not pertain to them whatsoever. And most of the time, they just go back to focusing to themselves. They forget about you. They also kind of made the analogy of like a funeral. You'll go to a funeral, they're sad for the hour of the service, and then after, like 30 minutes after, people are going on with their lives, they're laughing, they're talking to friends and family, they've forgotten about you. So it's kind of what you want to do with your life, how you want to take it, how far you want to take it. Is their opinion of you, does it matter to you, or is that going to hinder you? So something to think about, like I said before. Yeah, or honestly, vulnerability can be maybe you don't want to hurt someone's feelings from a loved one, and then also being judged, like I said. All of it goes hand in hand. I apologize. Oh my gosh, okay, anyways. Okay, yeah, so the funeral, I thought that was crazy because I kind of thought about it because I've been to a few funerals, and I'm like, yeah, that's true. Like, after the service, everyone's crying, and then after, they're laughing. Most people are laughing and having fun. I remember I was at my grandpa's funeral. My grandpa's funeral. I have no grammar. We were sad for that hour. And I remember after, me and my cousins going out the hallway, taking pictures in this big mirror that they had, and we forgot about what just happened. And I was like, that's true. Like, people, honestly, they care about themselves no matter what. If they have a husband, they have a friend, a best friend, they have a child, it always comes back to that person caring about themselves before they can care about another person. So just some food for thought. Yeah. So if we could have the mindset of Alex Hormozi, I feel like anybody could accomplish anything. If you're just strong-minded, if you don't care about what other people have to say, a lot of that ties into what we're going to do with our lives. If we block all that out, then we could definitely achieve what we want to if we have the will and drive, for sure. So go start that business, go buy that property, start the podcast, and start that Instagram you want to do. If you want to be an influencer, start doing that. Eventually, you're going to get somewhere where you know what you're doing and you're going to start growing that following. Honestly, there's no hurt from it whatsoever. And then, honestly, 9 times out of the 10 9 times out of 10 people that are judging you, those people are not doing anything with their lives, or they're not taking that step that you're taking, putting themselves out there in order to become successful. And if I ever feel that some sort of way, I always take a step back and say, what are they doing? Why are they making fun of me? Why are they not accomplishing what they can do? Why are they worrying about me? And so honestly, that's another motivation. That could give you motivation to continue on and say, I don't care what you say. I'm going to keep on doing it. I'm going to take a water break one more time. Okay, I'm back. And then I also wrote down here, I don't want to forget anything because I wrote down some pretty good things, but I said, that's how you differentiate successful people from most of society. Is if they're judging you, 9 times out of 10, probably not doing what they can in life to be successful. The successful people are not worrying about anybody else except them and their business and their family and whoever they take care of. That's all they're worried about. Yeah. You can do anything you set your mind to, no matter the circumstance that you're born into. And I'll get into that right now. There's a lot of people and social media, a lot of arguments on people being born into situations where obviously they can't help what situation they're born into. But a lot of those people don't take the necessary steps to do something about it. Say you're born into a family who's just not a lot of money, can't afford food on the table, their parents are working 12-hour shifts or jobs, never home, and the child just grows up thinking, oh, like, this is just how life is supposed to be. I feel sorry for myself. And a lot of them continue on having that mindset. And I'm not being specific towards one group of people or anything. It's just a broad spectrum that I'm trying to communicate. But most of those people don't do anything about it. And you're going to have the ability to change where your life is going. No one can be in charge of your decisions. If you were born into that, go and make your life something more. Have that motivation to be disciplined and say, okay, I was born into this, but I can change. I only affect myself and my life. No one else can affect what I do. And I'm going to go and make that change. I'm going to stop feeling sorry for myself, and I'm going to go and get that accomplished. Once people start having that mindset, you change 100%. There's a lot of people, billionaires from this day, they all start off with nothing. And honestly, that's how they get up to being a billionaire, because they've worked through those challenges and they've seen both sides and said, you know what? They don't control me. I control myself. So I'm going to do something about it. And I think that's very important, no matter what circumstance you are brought up into. Yeah. Just got to say, I'm going to do something about it. And that's it. I'm going to be successful, and I'm going to accomplish what I want to accomplish. And then lastly, I put not meeting your expectations. No matter what in life, there's going to be roadblocks and we're going to have failures and we're going to be mad about ourselves about this or that. But we also got to learn that the failures also kind of form us into a person that we are today. Like, I think I brought this up in my first podcast about the Army and how I kind of just did not take the opportunity to reap the benefits that the Army had. I kind of was negative the whole time. I just didn't care. And I got out and I said, wow, I really missed an opportunity to do something cool. And so I'm kind of talking about that. So I learned from that situation that I'm not going to take anything for granted. Where I'm at today is going to make me a better person and make me successful outside of this trial that I'm going through right now. Meeting our expectations is not 100% all the time. But again, going back, we just got to learn from it. Because usually, honestly, every successful person, they have failed one way or another to get up to where they are today. It's a learning experience. If we didn't fail, we would have nothing to work towards. So that's also a good mindset to have to not hold you back in your goals and what you want to accomplish. You may question if it's worth it to do it. I think it's worth it for sure. If you're going to get something out of it and you're going to be successful out of it, if you're going to be happy out of it, then it's worth it. Do it. If it's not going to make you happy and you feel like you're forced doing it, then it's not worth it. It's kind of black and white for sure. Okay, let's see. Yeah, learning from failed attempts. Also, we learn what not to do. And then we know what we can work on, what we can practice on, what we need to do better the next time. Okay. So the next thing that I want to talk about is just stuff that I do to stay motivated. A lot of these things aren't really typically goal-orientated, but it kind of helps me get through the day that I'm on. And I'm a person who needs like little things just to kind of get me like pepped up to try and do that accomplishment or that goal that I have. And so I have written down some of those things. But first I said, thinking of my end goal, where do I want to be up or I'm sorry, I'm just like stumbling all over my words today. But where do I want to be in 5 years? Like the question I had on my Get to Know Me, someone asked me what I saw myself doing in 5 years. I said applying to flight nursing, in the civilian side, in the Army side, hopefully buying more properties, hopefully having lots of savings to be able to do renovations on those properties, as well as turn some into Airbnbs and renting those out. So I'm kind of looking toward that end goal because it's getting me excited. I'm like, if I get to do that in 5 years, then I'm going to work my butt off here to be able to get over there. And once I get over there, I can start worrying about my next goals and so on and so on. And it kind of just gets me really hyped. I'm like, okay, yes, that sounds really fun. I'm going to do it. This is the path I'm on and I'm going to accomplish that. That seems like fun. That's something that I would really enjoy. Yeah. And then, gets me excited about the future and it drives me more to accomplish it. And said and done. There you go. But the next one I said, so this kind of doesn't really have stuff towards my goals, just kind of little things that I do every day. And I wrote a list and I said, doing little things each day that make me happy. First, I put lighting my candles. This one is honestly at the top of my list. I probably go through almost 2 candles a week. Like I love just to let my candles run, make the house smell good. I just love like the way they look. I just love candles and it's very expensive. Candles are very expensive, but It's something that makes me happy, something that makes me motivated for the day, motivated to clean my house, motivated to do my homework. Every time I do my homework, I have a candle on. Sorry, water break. Okay, we're back, hopefully. Okay. Second, I put going to Target or to like a home improvement store or decoration store, antique store. Really love thrift shops and antique stores. I've kind of gotten to the style where I just want things that nobody else have. I don't want to pay $600 for a table that somebody down the street has as well. I love antique shops because they have just such unique designs. There's only one of them usually in the store. It's unique to your house. And I will definitely do an episode on it, antique shopping, on thrift shopping, because that I'm so into. Most of the furniture in my house is from an antique store or a thrift shop that I've either redone or they just came like that at the antique store. Yeah, it's pretty awesome for sure. Okay, next. Okay, going to Target. Target's awesome. If you know, you know. Looking at decor ideas for my next project. I'm always finding myself on Pinterest, always looking at like, oh, that would be a cool idea for a bathroom. Ooh, that would be cool tile for my kitchen. And that kind of just gets me excited about real estate in general. I'm so excited to buy our next house and be able to redo it for renters for an Airbnb. That gets me the most excited for sure. Working out for sure. Boosts my mentality for sure. I'm a morning workout person and it just motivates me to keep on going throughout the day. I'm already up and energized in the morning. Okay, now I'm going to go to school. I'm going to get this done, my homework done. It's awesome. I actually really like working out, and I feel like it's better working out in the morning just to boost that adrenaline for the day. Self-care. I love eating good food, whether it be healthy or not healthy. A balance. We want balance for sure. Going to the salon sometimes, going to the nail place, getting my nails done, I'll do sometimes, or even just taking myself out to the store. Like, I love just going by myself and just going to look around the stores. Honestly, one of my favorite hobbies to do. And I like doing it by myself because I can just sit and think and be like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cute. That'd be cute without someone's other opinion, You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I love shopping by myself for the most part. I really like to go with my husband sometimes too. Okay, number 3, waking up to a sunny day. Probably one of my all-time favorites. You just have the best mood. The sun shining through your windows. I love opening up my windows, letting it shine through. It just makes me really happy for the day. Next, I'm still on sunny day. I wrote down, lighting my candles, especially on a sunny day, even on a rainy day either. I just love my candles, but the sun shining with a candle is awesome in the morning, my favorite. And it's just like peaceful. It's really peaceful before I start my busy day. It's kind of like a refresher, a breather, and just it kind of makes me really grateful for where I'm at today and the house that I get to live in. And yeah. My other motivating aspects for me is kind of the thought of not wanting to fail. Like I said before, you're going to fail sometimes, but I'm looking towards kind of my end goal and how I don't want to fail my end goal. I definitely have the expectations to fail along the way, but as long as I keep getting up, keep doing it, then I'm going to succeed in some aspect one way or another. So that's just kind of the little thoughts that I think to myself during the day. Yeah. So yeah, that's a lot of what I have to say about self-doubt. If there's anything I didn't cover, or if you guys are more interested about self-doubt, please DM me. I love when you guys DM me and ask me what to talk about. I've already gotten some of those. which is really exciting, actually. I'm super excited to be starting this. I just love talking, and now I'm more comfortable. This is only our second episode. I'm more comfortable talking to you guys, even though sometimes my gosh, and I need to learn how to talk as well. Sometimes my throat gets really itchy, and I have to take breaks, but that's why we have the drink of the day, right? Cheers to water and collagen for sure. But yeah, please comment down below on the video or on my Instagram what you guys would like to see. What would you guys like to hear? What would be interesting to talk about, etc. Okay, so for our last pieces of business, I am going to check the followers that we have this week. I think we've grown not pretty a lot. We've grown to quite a few members since the last podcast. So I'm going to check all social media. Let's see. For Instagram, we are at 52 followers. I think last time we were at 46 or 47. So we've definitely grown in the last few days. And I actually recorded that on Saturday, and today's Monday. And so we've grown quite a few in the past few days, which I'm thankful. Also, tell your friends, tell them about the podcast, repost. That would be awesome, and try to get it out to as most people as I can. Okay, so we got Instagram. YouTube, I have 6 subscribers. I'm already famous. No, I'm just kidding. But 6 subscribers. TikTok, I believe I have 0. I haven't posted that. I need to get my clips. I think I'm going to post some clips from today and start getting my TikTok going. So if you're not following that, go follow that. Last piece of business before I end the podcast is what I'm going to be talking about next podcast and what you guys can be looking forward to. So I've had a person come and tell me that I should talk about real estate mainly. So I'm going to be talking about how I got into it, how me and my husband bought our first house at 22, what we do to be able to pay the bills for the house, how we have money to renovate, the depth into our future plans of real estate, getting a real estate license maybe. Am I maybe going to open a brokerage one day? Maybe. We'll have to see. And then insights on how to prepare to buy a house and a lot more to do with real estate. I have a lot of studying to do on this, so I'm actually really excited because I do need to learn some more for sure in real estate, and that's one of my goals I have. But that's about it. I really appreciate you guys. There I go again. I really appreciate you guys listening and watching the YouTube. If you haven't, subscribe. And I will see you guys on the next podcast. Bye.